So I want to share with you then the things that came out, the things that we found worked with HTS Middelburg. And the next 4 things that I want to share with you, incidentally, also worked in building one of the sort of global success stories in e-commerce. Ladies, I'm addressing this to you. Ladies in the room, where are you? Who loves shoes? Check. 2 hands. And so, let's engage. You guys were very enthusiastic. You love shoes, right? You had both hands up. So, how often do you buy shoes? Every month. My wife says, whenever I can. And so, how do you buy shoes? Do you wake up in the morning and think, I need a new pair of black pumps? So you're going to go to the mall, you're going to go to your shoe shop and say, these are the ones I want, buy them, pay for them, and walk out. Hey? No, that's how men buy shoes. Women, ladies, you just go to the mall thinking, I may need a pair of shoes. In fact, you don't even need a reason to go to the mall, you just go. And as you've browsed around for 2 hours, you come across the 3rd shoe shop, and you see, oh, there's a pair I really like. Am I right? And then do you say to yourself, well, this could go with these outfits? No. You just go, I want those. So you try them on, right, to check that they fit and. So it becomes a whole ritual. So let's jump ahead. We're in 2013. Who of you would buy shoes online? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the reason that other 90% of you won't buy shoes online is because there's just no experience to that. You don't socialize by sitting in front of the computer going, but we socialize going to the shopping mall. So imagine a company in the States who in the early 2000s decided, we're going to sell shoes online. And they went to a couple of venture capital firms and said, will you give us $300,000 for a percentage of our business to help set up this online shoe store? And what did all the venture capitalists do? Oh, you must be crazy. Except for one guy, a 24-year-old who'd sold his first company to Microsoft for $250 million. Tony Hsieh created a company called Link Exchange, which helped websites advertise on other websites. And Microsoft liked it so much, after 2 years of him doing that, Microsoft said to him, give us the company, we'll give you $250 million. What does a 24-year-old do with $250 million? Whatever he wants. So, you can only buy so many houses, fast cars, etc. And one of the things he then did was he set up this little venture capital company. And these guys who wanted to sell shoes online came to Tony and said, give us some money. Tony was so enthused by this idea, he not only gave them the money, in fact, at that stage, he was almost down to his last couple of $1,000 from $250 million. He decided he'd become CEO of the company. And in 9 years, Tony built Zappos.com from nothing to a company that moved their offices to Las Vegas. 92% of the employees moved with them, and Amazon bought Zappos.com for $1.2 billion in 2008. What Zappos did to build that kind of business? In fact, you know what? People buy tickets to visit their offices. Yes, that's the kind of culture they have. It's so exciting. People buy tickets. If you go and work at Zappos, irrespective of what job you've been given, your first month you spend in their call center. So imagine you're the new CEO or CFO, and you arrive your first day on the job, you want to know where your office is, where your parking space is, where your PA is, who's all going to be reporting, and they go, no, sorry, you're going down to the call center. I'm sorry, what? You spend your first month in the call center, because that's the core of their business. Over and above that, if at any time during the first 3 months you decide that you don't really want to work here, they will pay you $2,000 to leave. They will pay you $2,000 to leave. You see, Tony knows that the most important thing to get people to do what you want them to do, to follow strategy, is to create a perception of control. And we did exactly the same with RTS Middelburg. For people to be motivated, for people to follow strategy, they want the perception that they are in control of their environment, of their part of delivering the strategy, of their future. The moment you take that feeling of control away, what happens? We end up with hamsters on a treadmill who will do whatever we tell them to do, but will show no initiative, who will become clock watchers. And the moment we gave the players at RTS Middelburg that perceived control, but still working within the lines, within certain parameters, things started turning around. Second thing that people really want, and that strategy must deliver, is perceived progress. We did that little culture survey yesterday, and it would be really interesting to see where we were a year ago and where we were yesterday. Because guess what? If we're not showing progress, how are people starting to feel? Pretty nervous. Right. How do we make sure that we show people that we're progressing? The third thing that people want is connectedness. We just don't like being isolated. I think that's one of the big reasons social media has just exploded. I mean, who's on Facebook? Yeah, along with my 80-year-old mother. Never before have so many people shared so much and said so little. It's crazy. A couple of years ago, we were working with a gold mine, and in helping them instill a culture of safety. So what we did was we managed to convince management that in these training sessions, we would show them a bar of gold. And one of the very first sessions we ran, we lifted the veil from this yellow bar of stuff on the front table, and we had a room full of rocket drill operators, and we asked them, what is that? And nobody could tell us. And we said to them, this is what you produce. They said, no. We said, really? You produce that? They said, no, I produce holes in the rock, and then when my shift ends, I go home, someone else comes and blows it all to pieces. When we don't understand how we're connected to an end product, when we don't understand how what I do is connected to strategy, it becomes very difficult for me to keep doing what I'm doing. Can you honestly say that you, your department, your port, the people that you manage, all clearly know how what they do is connected to what we want to achieve? If we cannot show them that, we cannot expect them to buy into doing what is required. We cannot expect them to buy into what we want them to do. Because in their mind, this is just menial. I asked people in an insurance company in their claims departments a couple of years ago. I said to them, why do you come to work? And they said, to do the work. I said to them, and when will the work end? They said, never. I said to them, what do you mean? They said, no, well, as soon as I finish one claim, the next one just kind of comes in. And the fourth thing that people want and need is they want vision, or they want to feel that what they do creates meaning for themselves and for somebody else. I had a client phone me a while back and said, Erik, listen, could you come in just for a quick meeting? And I thought it was around something else. And he said to me, listen, I'm considering quitting. I said to them, why? And this guy works at a big investment bank. I said to him, why are you considering leaving? Have you got another offer? Where are you going to go? He says, no, I don't know what I want to do next. I just feel like quitting. I said, why do you feel like quitting? He said, no, in his team recently, he was involved in putting together a presentation for a huge takeover. And he'd spent months on the research, on the presentation, on putting it all together. And he delivered it on time to his boss, who was going to do the presentation and the pitch. And his boss said to him, well, the email that he got back from his boss was, awesome presentation, fantastic research, really well done, but Exco has decided not to pursue this particular acquisition. So thank you, but your presentation's lying in a drawer. How would you feel if someone said to you that what you've just put months of effort into creates no meaning for anybody? We've got to make sure that whatever we do creates meaning. Lack of direction and not lack of time is often the problem.